Chinivo on page 42. Kabe Mui Vaishnava Chinivo Hari Hari Vaishnavati Vidhavani Ganesha Madhyame Pranati Kanishte Adar Madhyame Pranati Uttame Shushrusha Uttame Shushrusha Kabe Mui Vaishnava Jinivo Hari Hari Kabe Mui Jejeno Vaishnava Jiniyalo Yadara Kodi Bojave Vaishnavera Kripa Jahe Sarva Siddhi Vaishnavera Kripa Jahe Sarva Siddhi Avashya Pai Bhotave Avashya Pai Bhotave Kabe Mui Vaishnava Jinivo Hari Hari Kabe Mui Vaishnava Hari Hari Vaishnava Charitra Sarvada Pavitra Jai Ninde Hinsa Kori Vaishnava Charitra Sarvada Pavitra Jai Ninde Hinsa Kori Bhakti Vinora Nasambhashetare Bhakti Vinor Nasambhashetare Take Sada Mauna Dhori Take Sada Mauna Dhori Kabe Muni Vaishnava Jinivo Hari Hari Kabe Muni Vaishnava Charana Daya Nirakani Vaishnava Charana Daya Nirakani Mati Bore Daye Jaya Vaishnava Thakur 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 Vaishnava Thakur Jaya Vaishnava Thakur Vaishnava Thakur Jaya Vaishnava Thakur
page?
60.
Page 60.
I'll get you, Shay. Don't worry. Go ahead.
Akroda Paramananda Nityanandara. Akroda Paramananda Nityanandara. Akroda Paramananda Nityanandara.
Akroda Paramananda Nityanandara.
Abhimana Shandari Adamapatita Jiva Dvara Dvara Giya. Harinama Mahamanta Vichana Vihari.
Harinama Mahamanta Vichana Vihari.
Vichana Vihari.
This one just had a hard night last night. That one had a hard night last night.
Want to go some rest?
My brother probably would like it. Check this one out. Do you know Kolkata Wallet Sharlandas?
I don't know the name.
Any requests? Radha Krishna or Gauranga? Oh, I'm not sure if I know. What is it? Manare Kohana Gora Kata. That's like, is that the one? I can't think of a tune for it at the moment though, not one that I want to sing. I don't think I could do morning tune right now. I mean I could, but I don't know. That's the good one. I'm kind of feeling more like this. That I could easily do. All the water in the air definitely makes the mood for it. What page is it? Okay, probably not. I'll just shop my hands.
I'm not sure if you decided.
Yeah, I'll just sing. Because it's a short song and I know it by heart. Yeah, I said that last time we were here. They didn't, in the mat, they used to have a rule that if you know the song by heart, then you can sing it. You know, he nods, he knows that rule. Tora ke jaave ke jabe re bhai bhava sindhu pa tora ke jaave ke jabe re Nisa That covers Radha Krishna.
It's Shampoo or anybody got like a card or a piece of paper that can just roll up, like a little index card or a piece of that, yeah, something like that can roll up. Very good.
Like an envelope?
No.
What do you think? Just a tiny little scrap of paper.
She's got a scrap of paper. Great, thank you very much.
That Shravandas is a famous poet. Late grade. His son's still
Hare I love this so much. This is my favorite
Already on?
Okay, hold yeah, hold on a second. Alright, wait, hold on a second. I gotta get this time. Hold on, Jane, 1 second. We have time for
Before you open up your normal time, can I just say something, please? Sean Peru just got this letter from Sean just got a letter from a female.
Why don't you come here and say
Yeah, I got you.
Wait, so hold on, this isn't on, this is not on the thing,
I
right?
got you.
This is not on there.
And,
If it's worth saying, it's worth saying. It's not gonna go on the live stream now.
right.
What?
So, okay, it's just a 2-second thing,
What?
Is it on?
She doesn't have the live stream yet.
It's on, the live stream's on.
Oh, it is on?
Hey, it's
I
on.
just wanted to share that
I
Sean
wasn't sure.
who got a letter from a female inmate in Illinois who had was having a dream or a nightmare or something. A dream? She was having a dream and she called out in her sleep.
No, she no.
Can you tell it?
Yeah, be on.
She heard. She heard this word, Bhagavad Gita. She kept on hearing that in her dream. In her dream. And then,
Did she say which words?
yeah, Bhagavad Gita. She just
The whole thing?
Yeah.
No.
No. The word Bhagavad Gita.
Got it.
Bhagavad Gita, and then she had it said twice, right?
Yeah.
So she was looking for the book in the jail. She couldn't find it, and it turns out that her cellmate is reading it and in touch with us, and Sham's even like been there to visit her. Isn't that amazing? So she got the Bhagavad Gita. Oh, now she's gonna get her own copy.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
That is how security works.
It's amazing how Sakriti works from past lives. How all of a sudden their remembrance of their past advancement comes back. So we'll begin with the invocation, where, in case anyone doesn't know what the invocation Mangalacharana prayers are, these prayers we say in pursuance of what our Srila Gurudev did before every class in order to bring auspiciousness into this meeting. And how will we get auspiciousness in this meeting? By calling upon the great acharyas in disciplic succession to make their presence available to us. It's always available, but to make their presence felt by us, and to make this discourse successful in your hearts. When Sri Sukadeva Goswami, before he began to recite a certain chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam to Maharaj Pariksit, he also said many prayers, and he prayed to his superiors to decorate his tongue with their message, with their news. So we'll begin. And Vasanti, can you print out copies so that in the future everyone can chant with us? Agyanam timirandasya Gyanam jana salakaya Chaksurannilitam yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tvadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadabhaktaya Namo Namah Yam Pravrjantamanopetamapeta Krityam Dvaipayano Virahakatarvajuhava putreti tanmayataya taravo benedus tam sarvabhuta hridayam muni manatosmi bhaktya vinina aparadha lakshay Chiptasya kamadi tarangamadye Kripamayi tvam sharanam praparyam Brinde namaste charanarvindam Tavoivasmi na jivami tam vina Iti vigyaya radhe tam nayamam charanantike. First I offer my unlimited obeisances in the dust of the lotus feet of my most worshipful Diksha Gurudev, Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnu Pad, Astotra Sat Shri Shrimad Srila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada, and the same unlimited obeisances in the dust of the lotus feet of my most worshipful Shiksha Gurudev, Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnu Pad, Astotra Sat Shri Shrimad Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Goswami Maharaj, and to Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswami Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Vaibhav Puri Goswami Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Balabhtirtha Goswami Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Dwait Madhav Goswami Maharaj, Srila Gaur Govinda Goswami Maharaj, and to our Param Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj, and Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, and to all the assembled devotees. Why did I say two Param Gurudevs? When I said to my Param Gurudev, and then I gave two names. Param Gurudev means Grand Spiritual Master, the spiritual master of my spiritual master. So I have one on the side of my Diksha Gurudev, that is Srila Prabhupada, and that is Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, and one Param Gurudev on the side of Srila Gurudev, that is Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, and that is Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj. I can also say Srila Bhakti Dwait Madhav Goswami Maharaj, who is the Gurudev of my Shiksha Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Goswami Maharaj. What an amazing family lineage we have, and how proud we can be of our family lineage. So you just heard from Bimala and Vasanti about a true story of how Sukriti manifested itself in a prison when the lady had a dream, and Bhagavad Gita came in her dream, and searching for the book, she found out that her cellmate had one and was reading it. Did I get that right? So she's now ordering her own copy. That's from past lives. Coincidentally, I was going to tell a story of Sukriti. That is, it was told by our Srila Gurudev. There was a devotee, renounced Vaishnava, Gaudiya Vaishnava, who would go throughout the village of Vrindavan chanting Radhe, 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 Radhe Govinda, and knocking on different doors to beg alms. Not because he needed food, but in order to give the residents of the homes Sukriti by serving a Vaishnava. There's two kinds of Sukriti, Agyata Sukriti and Gyata Sukriti. Agyata means you don't know what you're doing, but you still get the benefit. And there are two other kinds of Sukritis. There are so many number systems. One is transcendental Sukriti, and the other is material Sukriti. For example, if I give money to a hospital, in my next life I may not be sick. Those results are temporary. If I give a donation, Hare Krishna, welcome. If I give a donation to a devotee, even if I don't realize what I'm doing, that result is permanent, forever. Srila Gurudev tells the story. First I'll finish the one about the Vaishnava. So he's going around, wandering around Vrindavan, calling out, Radhe, Radhe, Radhe Govinda, knocking on various doors to beg alms. So he came into this door of a lady, grouchy looking old lady, who was cleaning her floor with cow dung. And the rag and I do mean rag, the rag that she was doing, I don't say cloth, rag that she was using was old, smelly, oily, full of holes. And when he was begging alms, she said to him, "Get out of here." She thought, oh, this beggar just wants money. "Get out of here. Don't come back." So what did he do? He came back the next day, and she screamed at him, "If you come back here once more, I'm going to break your back with my stick." So then he came back the next day, and she had that oily rag, dirty, smelly, holy rag, and threw it at him. So he became very pleased. He took the rag and washed it very well in the Jamuna till it was perfectly clean. And then he ripped it into little pieces and made ghee wicks with them. And he had already gotten a donation of ghee from somebody else. So he made ghee wicks and he offered those ghee wicks on his ghee lamp to his deities. The next day he came back to her house and she said, "Welcome, welcome, what would you like?" So she had gotten Gyata Sukriti. So Gurudev was encouraging,
Didi, if we made our ghee wicks out of an old rag, Indupati would have a fit.
Dinabandhu Prabhu said, one of our fearless leaders, Indupati Prabhu, of the Alachua temple would have a fit if we made ghee wicks out of old, dirty rags, which is generally the case. But in this case, because he was so pure, the Lord would accept that from him. And his motive was to help this lady advance, which is what happened.
We aspire for the best of such sadhu sweet.
Yes, we do. Well, here's another example. If we offered our deities here in Alachua a dry chapati, a dry hard chapati,
Oh, he'd never take it. Not Govindaji, no way.
and Indupati Prabhu would become upset. But when Sanatana Goswami offered a dry chapati without any ghee and without any salt, because he offered it with such devotion, and that's all he had, he barely had a loincloth, although he did have a touchstone thrown in the trash outside of his...
Mohan, not Govindaji.
I
Like
see.
I said, Govindaji never would. Madan Mohan may have a pastime like that, but not Govindaji.
Well, if Sanatana Goswami was here, Govindaji would take it too. But for us, because we're on the platform of rules and regulations, we follow the rules and regulations.
Just to clarify it, Madan Mohan was very happy to take food being offered by a lady who was stirring it with the same stick
Yes,
she was
thank you.
cleaning her teeth with. So Madan Mohan's standards are very extraordinary, very kind.
Very high.
So the world didn't hear that, so I'll repeat it. that deity of Sanatana Goswami, Madan Mohan, because it was the chapati was offered with such love and devotion, the deity spoke to him. What? I'm going to get a sore throat if you just offer me a dry chapati and no salt, no ghee. So Sanatana Goswami said, that's all I have. You'll have to accept it. And so Madan Mohan accepted it. So once when Srila Sanatana Goswami was at the house of a Chobe woman, she had...
Chaturvedi.
I'm sorry?
Chaturvedi. It's Braj Bhasha for Chaturvedi Brahman.
Oh, thank you. Dinabandhu just said Chobe is Brajabhasha, the language of Brajbasis, for the Chaturvedi Brahmana.
Just like Tiwari is Bihari for Trivedi.
Thank you. So he came begging alms, Sanatana Goswami, and he saw that there was a Chobe lady who was being grabbed onto by her two sons, and she was stirring some cereal, and at the same time she was brushing her teeth with the other end of the twig.
She was trying to be a good Brahmani.
She loved her sons more than anything. So Sanatana Goswami noticed, if you're making something for the deities, because she had a deity room, then why don't you first brush your teeth, and then, when you're clean, then cook. So the next day he came back to beg alms, and she did do that. But her two sons were screaming, hurry up, we're hungry, and pulling on her cloth. So then Sanatana Goswami noticed. Thank you for saying Haribo, but I just got some secretes. So he noticed that just after that, the two boys were playing. And one boy, Madan, it was like playing catch. And he ran into the deity room and merged into the deity. Because actually he was Madan Mohan, who was so impressed with the devotion of the lady and her son that he came out to play. So when he did merge into the deity, his friend said, just wait till tomorrow, I'm going to get you tomorrow. So then Srila Sanatana Goswami said to her, no, you know exactly how to do it. Go back to brushing your teeth and cooking at the same time. So another history that Gurudev told is that there was a pigeon, and the pigeon was shot in the breast by a hunter. And so just imagine yourself being shot in the chest. And so
I can. That's easy for me to imagine.
Why? Because it might have happened in the past, and so the impression is there. So he started just aimlessly wandering around, and it so happened that he aimlessly wandered around a temple, meaning that he circumambulated a deity, and then he died. And then in his next birth he was able to take a good pious birth and meet devotees and become a devotee. Another one, if you want to get a little more gross, is the example of the rat who was very hungry, and he came into the temple and he saw that there was a bowl of ghee with a ghee wick burning, because that's how many temples in India got their light and their fragrance. So he thought, this will be nice to drink. So it so happened that the ghee wick was almost out, but when he began drinking, his nose caught on fire, and he became the ghee wick that lit up the temple. Naturally he died, but then in his next life, of Sukriti. But that wasn't the subject of the day. Yes, it was, in the sense that
We were
when I
gonna
asked
talk
in the
about
car,
beginning bhakti also,
I'm
right?
sorry? Yes.
Because we were going to talk about the bottom to the top.
The bottom to the top. So when I asked the devotees in the car, do you have any idea what you'd like to hear about today? Dinabandhu Prabhu reminded me about our Acharya's urgent request to constantly do Harinam Sankirtan. Our Srila Prabhupada wrote in a letter that Harinam Sankirtan should always be going on and everything else is subsidiary. Once, back in 1968 or 69, we who were working on Srila Prabhupada's books were thinking that we didn't have time to go. The other temple devotees could go, but we press devotees didn't have time. So when Prabhupada heard that, he wrote us that if you go out for an hour a day, Krishna will give you back that time. Isn't that magical?
May I ask a question?
Yes.
Go out to where? To be with devotees or to
It's thank you for asking. Go out is an expression. It's a devotee jargon.
I didn't know that.
That means go out to the public.
Like we did last night.
Oh, I see.
Go out to the public
go out,
and
and spread the word.
Spread the
and
word.
raise and
yes.
Connect with, okay.
Like last night you went out on Harinam Sankirtan and the people of Gainesville got so much sukriti, benefit. So Dinabandhu Prabhu was saying bottom to top. So the devotee, according to the level of the devotee's advancement, might be thinking so many varieties of things while chanting Harinam, Hare Krishna mantra, and also while chanting bhajans. So anybody coming into that contact can get anything that he himself has the right or the qualification for. Somebody might just enjoy the music. Somebody might be irritated and say, stop that chanting. I was once on a morning walk with our Srila Prabhupada, 1969-ish in Boston, and he said that when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was chanting in the streets, some of the people being irritated or wanting to joke, or the children just wanting to make fun, they made fun. And so what did Lord Chaitanya do? He would say, don't chant that Hare Krishna again. Why? Just so that they would do it more and make benefit. So somebody might just like the melody or the beat. Somebody might feel peace. And then the devotee also, he might be on different levels too, trying to show off, in which case he doesn't get any benefit. Or he may be thinking of the different levels, which we'll be discussing now, different levels of meaning of Harinam. So this earlier today, when you were all singing the different bhajans, I was thinking that I used to think, so bhajans are just like an introduction to the real part of the program, the class. But gradually, as I advanced to a deeper understanding, I began to comprehend that everything is in the bhajans. All the philosophy, the pastimes, the power of the pure devotee who wrote the songs. Like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he's singing, he wrote Shikshastakam, the 8 prayers to the holy name. Srila Prabhupada said that, Srila Gurudev said that these 8 verses by Mahaprabhu, which is sung in elaboration, by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and then by the hundreds of thousands of Gaudiya Vaishnavas in his line. This is more powerful and has more knowledge than all the Vedic literatures together. Then, when Srila Prabhupada was once speaking about the bhajans of Srila Narottam Das Thakur, he said, in simple language, he gives all the knowledge of the Vedic conclusions. And, I forgot it. Slipped. When Srila Prabhupada wrote the introduction to the very first ISKCON songbook, he ended, his conclusion was that Sankirtan Yajna, the sacrifice of chanting the Harinam Mahamantra, and other bhajans which are also glorifying the names of Krishna, singing this is the safest situation in the material world. I was just hearing an audio reading by your godbrother Sripad Tridandi Maharaj, Bhaktivedanta Tridandi Maharaj. He was giving an audio presentation of the 11th canto, Krishna speaking to Uddhav. And he said, just by remembering me, remembering my glories, remembering my name and my fame and my pastimes, all of one's evils, his enviousness, his hatred, his abusiveness, everything goes away. And all auspiciousness comes, all qualities. Like suppose you're born into a rich family. Then automatically, without any endeavor, you become rich. You get a fancy kitchen, you get maids, so many things. Similarly, just by absorbing ourselves in the Lord's glories, and His holy name contains all of His glories. Not only that, His holy name contains all the universes, all the planets, all the incarnations, and all their abodes. Just by remembering or chanting the holy name, all knowledge is at your feet. All problems go away. And the white lily of all good fortune, meaning bhava bhakti, ecstatic transcendental emotions, arise in the heart, and one begins to enjoy the opulences of the Lord. He begins to enter into the pastimes of the Lord and share His opulences. It's interesting how, as I'm speaking, things are coming and going. So as I'm speaking one thing, I'm thinking of another, and then when I finish that, thinking that I'm going to say that, it's gone. So, yes, I just remembered by Curtis Mercy. He said, don't chant Hare Krishna. Don't eat Krishna Prasadam. Don't listen to Hari Katha. Don't go and see the deities. What does that mean? It means that we can't see the deities. We see wood or marble or gold or stone. So the reason that we offer our obeisances lying with our left side, not front. We offer front to Guru, but we offer our left side to Thakurji, to the deities. Why? Because we're praying, please see me and bestow your mercy, shower your mercy on me so that I can see you. Similarly, we can't chant the holy name. We can't hear the holy name because the holy name is transcendental and our senses are material. Atak Sri Krishna Namadi Nabhaved Grahyam Indriyai Sevan Makehis Jivadho Swayameva Sparatyada. By engaging all the senses in the Lord's service, beginning with the tongue, means honoring Krishna Prasadam and chanting, the senses gradually become purified, and at some point, seeing the sincerity, main thing is the sincerity, Guru's heart melts and the Lord's heart melts, and then his name manifests on that purified heart, and his form becomes revealed, his name becomes revealed, his pastimes and qualities become revealed. And at that time, the devotee enters into those pastimes internally, and then he finally leaves his whole body made of the modes of nature and enters into the spiritual world. So then don't listen to Harikatha. What is Harikatha? Vasanti and I were just hearing yesterday this totally incredible lecture that Srila Gurudev was giving in February of 2003 in Alachua. He was explaining the meaning of Bhava Bhakti, which is when the Lord's knowledge potency and pleasure potency on the platform of his spiritual existential potency enters the heart of the devotee through the heart of the pure devotee and establishes him on the spiritual platform. So Gurudev was explaining that doesn't only happen at Bhav Bhakti, when eightfold ecstatic emotions manifest on the body of hair standing on end, horripilation, what else? Weeping, paralysis,
changing colors,
colors.
of the body standing on end.
Yeah. It happens before then. It happens gradually. When Harikatha is spoken by a pure devotee, that's why if somebody would walk out of class, that they had to do something and they would be leaving the class, Gurudev would say, "Where are you going?" They'd say, "Oh, I'm going, my baby's crying," or whatever. You are losing so much. Once when he was giving class, he said, "You don't realize this now, but if you have all the gold in the world, you can't match the value of what you're hearing now." So he was explaining in Alachua that Harikatha spoken by the pure devotee is non-different from that Hladini Shakti, that ecstatic pleasure potency of the Lord, personified as Srimati Radhika, and his Samvid potency, the potency by which Krishna knows himself and makes others know him. Those two potencies are non-different from the Harikatha of the pure devotee. And that's why even now, when we hear, like on our iPad or phone, when we hear our Guru's Harikatha, we pray that, "O Prabhu, you are not a sound file. You are Gurudev yourself, and here I am," or "You are Prabhupada yourself, and here I am, sitting at your feet, and you're personally speaking to me. Please shower your mercy on me and give me realization of what I'm hearing from you directly, and take away all doubts so that I can perfect my life by becoming a servant of Srimati Radhika." So such powerful Harikatha. When a person like myself speaks Harikatha, even though it's about Krishna, it's called Shabda Samanya, or ordinary sound vibration. And even if a pure devotee is speaking, "How are you? How's your wife? Did your daughter get married yet?" It's Shabda Brahma, or transcendental sound. One of Gurudev's disciples asked him, at the Los Angeles airport, when he arrived there one day, like, what are you doing when you look at us? Because it's not like anybody else looking at us. So he said, praying atoms are coming out of my eyes. Transcendental love atoms. So the different levels. So don't eat prasadam. Srila Gurudev told us a very deep meaning of a prayer that we say every day. Mahaprasade Govinde Nama Brahmani Vaishnave Svopa Punyam Vatarajan Vishvasho Jayate. The deep meaning, because he said don't eat Mahaprasadam and don't take, okay, I'm not eating it, I'm taking it, but honor and serve Mahaprasad. So one day on the roof of his Mathura temple, I asked, what exactly do you mean by serving? Because all I knew about serving prasadam is that somebody goes around with a big bucket and puts a little bit on everybody's plate. So he said the Mahaprasade Govinde verse with a deeper meaning. O Mahaprasadam, you are non-different from Radha and Govinda. And Radha and Govinda include all of their pastimes and powers. When Srila Gurudev was giving so many initiations, he would usually tell his new initiates, remember the power of the name. Just as Krishna can create innumerable universes in 1 second and destroy them in the next and recreate them in the next, so can Harinam, because Harinam is non-different from Krishna. So Mahaprasad, because it was mixed with the nectar from Krishna's lips, O Mahaprasad, you are non-different from Radha and Govinda and their pastimes. You're non-different from the holy name. You're non-different from the pure Vaishnavas and Brahmanas who are also your associates in that transcendental realm. So, an ordinary person can't taste you, can't experience you. So please give me your mercy so that I can realize who you are. There's another prayer to Mahaprasad that's less popular. I haven't said it in years, and I hope I can remember it. Prema Danshame, Kama Danshame, Veda Nanshame, Bhaiva Vanshame, Jiva Nanshame, Jiva Tanshame, Daiva Tanshame, Daiva Naparam. This is actually a prayer to Krishna, but Srila Gurudev made it for prasadam as well. Prema Danshame, O Mahaprasad. Therefore, you can see the responsibility of the pujari and the cooks to offer with love and devotion. O Mahaprasad, you can give prema bhakti, transcendental love for Krishna. Kama Danshame. Not only that, but you can give Kamamika bhakti. First Kamanuga bhakti, Raganuga bhakti in the mood of the gopis, and then you can give Kamatmika bhakti, the actual position of the maidservant of Radharani. Then Veda Nanshame, all the Vedas, all the knowledge of the Vedas are within you. Bhaiva Vanshame, and you have all the opulences. Jiva Nanshame, you are my life and the life of my life. Daiva Tanshame, You are the Supreme Lord and the sum total of all demigods, of all lords. Daivana Param, and I have no other Lord but you. So, if I wanted to, there's so much more to say, and we will say a little more. But if we want to bring all of the kata about moods into one sentence, we're reminded of Srila Prabhupada's definition of yoga. Not his definition, but the meaning of yoga. What does yoga mean? It doesn't mean just exercises. Yoga means adding two things together. Like you add bricks and cement to make your house. So adding Krishna with the living entity by the cement of devotion or linking. Yoga also means linking. So yoga means to pray to Krishna, I'm fallen, please save me. That's yoga, that's all. But to expand that sentence, there's all this. So very often, especially when Srila Gurudev was in Badger, New Braj, he would hold, both in his classes at the temple and also at house programs. What page is Jashwamati Nandan on? He would explain various verses.
Maybe 100?
100? Joshua 237. You were close.
Same book.
Considering the same book and considering the infinity of numbers. So 237. That reminds me of something. I don't know if I want to say it.
Say it. Now you have to.
I said it's close considering the infinity of numbers. In the same lecture where Srila Gurudev was saying that pure Harikatha is the same as the Hladini and Samvid potencies, he said, so you are hearing about Shuddha Sattva, pure goodness beyond the material modes of nature. You are hearing, but realizing is so hard. Then he said, so why are we explaining it? Because these words that I'm saying will give you a greed, a pure greed, which takes away all other desires for entering into that spiritual realm. And he said, it may take hundreds of births. It may take you thousands of births. But that is such a short time period. Considering that we've been in this material world since the very first creation, there's also been innumerable creations. Every time the Lord breathes out, the creation occurs. When he breathes in, all those billions of years of creation, and then the universes are growing, and then people are living in it and transmigrating through the 8,400,000 species of life. And then when he inhales, the whole thing is over. So he's been inhaling and exhaling. So considering that we've been in the material world since the beginning of the first creation, Anadi, a time that's so long that it's incalculable. Considering all that, 100 or 1,000 births is a very small period. What does that make us do? It makes us want to be serious.
Can I ask one question?
Yes, you may.
That's called Sattva, Guru Sattva? Or what did you say that was called?
I said Shuddha Sattva.
Shuddha Sattva?
Shuddha.
How do you spell that?
S-U-D-D-H-A.
S-U-D-D-H-A. Is that kind of like city or has something to do with the city? Shuddha.
Shuddha means pure.
It means pure. Sattva means existence.
Pure existence.
There's Sat, Shuddha,
Shuddha.
Sattva.
Sattva.
Sattva means existence.
Okay.
Right now, in this material world of the three modes of nature, material goodness, which is always mixed with passion and ignorance,
Okay.
even if I try to be good. And then passion, which makes one long for the results of his activities, and it's a lot of other passionate things. And then ignorance, sloth, eating all kinds of abominable things, engaging in abominable activities, ignorance. So sattva is ignorance, is existence within these, with the influence of these three modes. It's called mishra, or mixed sattva. And then shuddha sattva is the pure jiva, the pure living entity, free from the modes of nature. And on that platform, when one is very sincere, by the mercy of the Lord and his pure devotees, through the pure devotee's heart, these spiritual energies descend onto the heart, because their existence is called Vishuddha Sattva, extremely superior version of Shuddha Sattva, of pure goodness. And their world comes into and descends upon the heart of that Shuddha Sattva jiva. And that is called Bhava Bhakti, when the ecstatic emotions begin to manifest.
And Shuddha, Siddha, different. You asked about Siddha?
Oh, Siddha.
Yeah, Siddha means perfect.
Perfection.
She
Perfect.
asked is Shuddha.
Oh, I thought she said
connected to
city.
Siddha. No, she asked is Shuddha like Siddha.
I thought she meant city, like a city, like a Lachua.
So
You meant Siddha, like perfection.
I meant, yeah, Siddha.
Siddha means perfect.
Right. Yes, it's related.
Okay.
Okay, so 237. So according to the degree of our surrender to the sound vibration, which is helped a lot by understanding what I'm singing, but even not, if I don't understand what I'm singing, but I have faith that this is reality, this is unlimited reality, this is God himself. And of course I've been reading about Krishna, so I know when God is great, the greatness of God. I know the meaning of that. And I surrender to the sound vibration, everything about the Lord becomes revealed in my heart. At the same time, it's helpful to know the meaning, because that gives us interest in wanting to surrender. Like if I say surrender to me, for example, why? Who are you? But if I tell you about all my greatness, then you'll probably say, well, still, why should I surrender? But if we hear about the greatness of Krishna, oh, that's a place where I can take shelter. Otherwise, in this material world, it's described in the Bhagavatam that one is taking shelter of a stone boat. What happens if you take shelter of a stone boat?
They float.
Really?
Pumice stone.
Don't believe it.
Yeah. And what happens if you take shelter of a dog who's trying to paddle across the ocean? You're taking shelter of the tail of a dog, thank you, who's trying to paddle across the ocean. The dog can paddle it a bit, but then plunk. So, Srila Gurudev would often explain, now how much time do we have, by the way? Well, no, we have to consider the devotee schedules and Pushadam, and is the Pushadam offered or will be offered?
It's offered, everything's fine.
Is offered.
Yeah.
And just being kept warm like that?
It is.
Great. All right, so I'm going to end in 20 minutes at 12:30. That's a usual break time. So once he was explaining the meaning of Jashomati Nandan. So this bhajan time that you have the availability of on various occasions, and even if we're not with the whole temple, there's 2 or 3 people getting together, or even one person. It's very, very important time.
Didi, can we sing it today?
What?
It's the time of day that we normally sing that song.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Sing it together.
Yeah, together. What page?
237. I'm singing all together.
Oh,
All right, but still somebody has to have the prominent voice.
Right now.
You want the
I'll sing
prominent?
it.
You're the main
I'll sing it.
artsy singer, so
Oh, we were talking now.
we'll sing it together. But somebody has to be the prominent voice.
Okay.
What? The tune that I have been singing in?
No.
Or the new one?
Okay.
Okay, the faster way to do it. Okay. Jasamati Nandana Gajaparanagara Gokula Ranjana Kana Gopi Paranadhana Madana Manohara Gopi Paranadhana Kaliya Daman Amala Harinamaniya Vilasa Vipina Purandara Navina Nagarabara Bansi Barana Sivasa Palana Asakula Nasana Nanda Godhana Rakhavala Govinda Madhava Navanita Taskara Sundarananda Gopala Jamuna Tata Chara Kopi Vasanahara Rasa Rasika Kripa Moya Siradha Vallabha Vindavana Natavara Bhakti Vinod Asaraya
Okay. So, and a bonus prize, once you know the songs and even the meaning of the song, when chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, which is 3 words, although there's unlimited meaning, you can think of these other songs, these other bhajans that are in the same mood. And we'll discuss after this the different types of bhajan, like in humility, in longing. They all have different Sanskrit names. So Jashamati Nandana. This is a song by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur for entering Raganuga Bhakti and Rupanuga Bhakti. This song is very elevated and confidential. So it's for all the bhajans. Yes, all the bhajans of all of our acharyas, our Gaudiya acharyas, are for one purpose, which is to become the maidservant of Srimati Radhika. And they take different forms. The forms of dainya, like, I'm so wretched, I'm so fallen, please get me out of this situation, to longing for siddha lalasa, longing for that perfection. When will I take my birth in Radharani's village? When will I have my only mood being that of a maidservant? When will I be married in Radharani's village of Jabat? And when will I take my birth in Radharani's village of Bishabhanupur? When will I get my spiritual perfected name, my Swarupa, Swavasan, Rupa Swavasan? When will I get when will I realize my own spiritual form and my own spiritual name? When, as I'm carrying water on the bank of the Jamuna to get water, I'll see Radharani and Krishna speaking with each other, and I'll know exactly what's going on in their hearts. And then I'll glorify her, just like a mad woman, glorifying the wonder of Srimati Radhika. So that's one level, that's a very high level, Siddha Lalasa. But then there's also longing for when along the banks of the Ganges will, in a very loud voice, will I sing the names of Chaitanya and Nityananda. When, while chanting, will I wet my entire body by the tears falling from it. When, in great humility will I set about to preach the glories of the holy name? When will I become so humble that I can taste the glory of the holy name and become free from my offenses? So there's so many levels, but we don't have to think about the level. The level is already given us by our acharyas. So, Jashamati Nandan, what does the son of Jashoda have to do with becoming a maidservant of Srimati Radhika? Isn't it a different ras? Why do I have to sing to Krishna, who's known as the son of Jashoda? Nothing? Why?
I mean, they all know her better than he does. He's always out in the cow field, and they're always over there at her house cooking with her Radharani. They probably know his mom better than he does.
But why are they relating to her, him, in relation to her?
That's where he gets all his good qualities from.
Right.
If he didn't get all those good qualities from her, he wouldn't be able to be Brajabhata Nagara.
Really?
Do you think his father taught him? His father taught him about cows. His mom taught him about being sweet.
That's not the meaning of Brajabhata Nagara.
He's the best lover in all of Braj.
What does lover mean? Nagara. Nagara means there must be a Nagari. Nagari means there must be
Radharani taught him
gopis.
everything he knows. Even better.
Thank you. Alright, so why Jashoda? She's in a different ras, and Radha and Krishna, if they're together, and Mother Yasoda happens to walk along, they'll immediately go the other way, won't they? So, Jashoda notices that Krishna doesn't have much of an appetite, and he's getting very thin, lean and thin, just picking at his food. So he heard that Radharani has a boon from Durvasa Rishi, a great powerful sage, that whatever she cooks will be sweeter than nectar, and anybody who eats her food, they'll become so powerful, they'll be able to defeat all the demons, and they'll become very, very strong. So she's thinking, well, if I could get Radhika to come and cook for my son every morning, then he'll be able to defeat all the demons, and he'll be very powerful and beautiful, and he'll eat a lot. So Jashamati Nandan, it's because of her that Radharani
Gets to cook for Krishna.
gets to cook for Krishna every morning. And Mother Yasoda, she knows that Radharani's mother-in-law, Jatila, she'll never allow Radharani to come and cook for Krishna, because her husband is Abhimanyu, who happens to be the shadow of Krishna.
That's why Gurudev loved Durvasa Tila so much, because Durvasa gave her the Amrita Hasta Vim.
Yeah. Amrita Hasta means anything you cook will be sweeter than nectar.
Well, it also means that the person who eats it, they become immortal.
They become immortal.
Even the demigods want
Amrita
that.
Hasta. Right. Thank you for that correction. So, therefore, Mother Yasoda sends so many jewels and cloths and opulent ornaments, opulent cloths to Jatila. And her mouth waters, and she's happy to send her daughter-in-law. So, then, because Mother Yasoda is there in the morning, Radharani is very shy. She'll cook in the kitchen, but she won't come out. But she's glancing at Krishna through the lattice windows of the kitchen, and Krishna's stealthily glancing at Radharani through the same lattice windows. And sometimes Krishna likes to make Radharani curious by tasting one of her delicious items. She comes with all of her entourage, gopis and maidservants. He's tasting something, and then he goes, ugh, and he puts it on somebody else's plate. Why? Just so they can taste it. They can taste her food with coming from his lips. So then she's wondering. So Mother Yasoda is very helpful. And then Braja Bada Nagara. Vada means the best. Braja, in Braj, and anywhere. He's the Bada Nagara. The gopis don't think that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. He's the supreme lover. So Nagari means those cowherd damsels who cheat on their husbands. Oh, that's a whole story, because their husbands are actually manifestations of Krishna, and nobody knows it because Yogamaya covers them up. That was in brackets. And very stealthily meet with Krishna in different places and times. That's what gopi means, doesn't it? What does gopi mean?
She keeps Krishna hidden.
Hidden. Their pastimes with Krishna are hidden, and they keep Krishna hidden in their hearts, and he keeps them hidden in their hearts. Because after all, it's a paramour relationship. So in this way, the songs have so many deep meanings.
And we're only in the first 2 lines.
I'm sorry?
We only are 2
And that's
lines
just-
into the song.
That's one line. Yeah, Brajabada Nagara.
Depends
And
on how
then-
you write it.
Yeah, Kali, it depends how you write it. Kaliya Damana. What does Kaliya Damana mean?
The chastiser of Kali?
Chastiser of Kaliya, that big, many-hooded snake. What does that have to do with Rupanuga Bhajan?
I think I know.
What?
I think I heard her say in the class how
You speak louder. Why don't you come up here? Speak into the
I
mic.
just want to be really loud. Krishna is dancing, and when all the Brajvasis go there because Mother Yashoda heard about Kaliya, and she's so scared, so everyone is rushing there, but no one can stop Krishna's dancing on Kaliya's hood. And it's the first time that the gopis get to see Krishna without having to be...
He's a show-off.
secretive.
You know how boys are. Krishna likes to show how he dances, and in one Shastra, it stated that, maybe Jiva Goswami, how gopis were dancing with Krishna on the hoods. That's a secret pastime. Little rasa dance. So, Amala Hari Nam, Amiyavilas. Meaning?
That these holy names are filled with so many pastimes.
The holy names are filled with unlimited pastimes. Amala, they're pure, no mud, no dirt. Amala Harinam, Amiya Bilas. There's unlimited pastimes in the holy name.
Okay, Didi, when I said those very words, because Gurudev asked, what does this line mean? Namala Harinam Amiya. I said those very words, and Gurudev says, you're totally mad. And I had to find out later why he said you're totally mad.
Why?
Because Gurudev was not talking about that in class. He was saying that this is like, that's fine and well. In other words, they had already discussed the book, and I walked into the conversation unaware they'd already gone through that in the songbook. And he was like, okay, but. And so what he meant, or I had to find out from Prem Parojan, he said that it means the Harinam, Amala Harinam, that pure holy name, has his own pastime. Why? Because actually in the beginning of the word in Sanskrit you have name means to come down. So pure name has come down. It hasn't just come up out of your chest. Right? You know? Oh, I heard this sound. Let me see. Hare Krishna. Right? It just comes up out of your chest. This is that nam. This is actually nam means it's come down. Right?
Thank
so it says Amal Harinam has its own Amiya Vilasa, which means that when he comes down and dances on your tongue, he sends you to Goloka Vrindavan so you can find out what it's all about.
Is that his only pastime? Do you know what the pastimes of Harinam is? Harinama Tua Aneka Swarupa. It's not that there's so many pastimes in the holy name. The holy name himself, being non-different from the form of Krishna, performs all these pastimes. Rasa Lila, killing of Putana witch. All these pastimes are performed by Harinam, which is non-different from Krishna. And that's another nice one for bhajans. So, so there's unlimited more to say about these bhajans and in the more times to come. Isn't it beautiful, all the deep meanings in the songs? And so the more we have so many problems, don't we? My this is wrong with that, and my that's wrong with that, and my body is this, my mind is this, and my friend is that, and my boss is that, and my husband is that. When we take shelter of the holy name, all the problems are solved. All the illusion goes away, and we situate it in reality. And when we give our attention to problems, then what happens, Vasanti? We make a bridge to the world of problems, and more problems come. And what did Gurudev say in Badger? If we think of Krishna instead of our problems, then what? Krishna will come and carry our problems on his head.
It seems like our acharyas have commodified this for us as greed. Like, and actually we need to get greed, because I've even heard them say that's our main problem for the sadhakas. You don't have enough greed. And so I just realized that actually as materialists, like you want to have those impulses. Like when a person starts losing their libido, they think, I'm not enough to lose my libido, you know, or how am I going to be human if I don't have the sexual drive to like cram down every morning, you know? Like, it's just like when a person loses their appetite, they're like, well, I haven't been hungry, maybe I should, you know, take something to stimulate my appetite, you know?
So what's the point?
That the acharyas have wisely done so. You know, they've said you're a sadhak, so your main problem is you don't have enough appetite. That means you're sick. Get some like greed.
We're
there,
sick.
You know?
Yeah, in conclusion, we're sick. We don't have taste for the name,
Weak
for the
appetite
form,
for
for the service.
Tasting, it's very candy, but you're not tasting sweet.
So we're going to close with exactly what you said. In the Nectar of Instruction, the 7th verse says, the holy names are very sweet, but we, conditioned souls, have jaundice. And when you have jaundice, you can't taste the sweetness of candy. So even in America, if somebody goes to the hospital with jaundice, they give them candy bars. And the candy bars taste bitter, but candy bars are the only remedy for jaundice. So you keep eating the candy bars, and when they become sweet to you, then you know that you're cured. So even though these nectar names taste bitter to the conditioned soul with jaundice, by regularly chanting with honor, gradually the sweet taste comes, and then we can't stop even for a second. What's that story with Lord Chaitanya and Gopal?
Gopal Guru was
Huh?
He was trying to hold his tongue. He went to the bathroom.
Mahaprabhu was with a young boy named Gopal who was carrying his water pot. And then in India they had the what do you call that? The international bathrooms? The forest. And they would go to the bathroom in the forest. So Lord Chaitanya was holding his tongue because he couldn't stop chanting. He wanted to stop chanting. And so Gopal said, why are you holding your tongue? He said, because Harinam is Krishna himself, and I'm going to be doing a dirty thing, and I don't want to bring Krishna there. So then Gopal Guru said, then what will you do at the time of death when you're passing stool and urine uncontrollably? Will you stop chanting? So then Lord Chaitanya said, oh yes, you are my Guru. And so he became later known as Gopal Guru Goswami. So are there any questions?
Sat Krishna. What's the finish the verse? I think there's 2 more lines of it.
I don't know them.
Well, let's all say it, and then we'll know it.
Okay, what page?
Ma Manasiksha.
No, it's Videshamrita.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, it's verse 7 of Upadeshamrita.
Yeah.
It's in
Sat
there.
Krishna Nama.
It's in that book, yeah.
Alright, so here we go. Syat Krishna Nama Charitari Sita Yavidya Pitopatapta Sanasana Nu Kintvadarara Nurinam Kala Saiva Justa Svadvi pramad bhavatita kadamulahantri. Okay. Questions?
The root of the disease, he just said the disease will be destroyed down to
At the
like
root.
completely cured.
Who said that?
That
Rupa
verse we just
Goswami.
chanted?
No questions?
I
Okay,
couldn't
let-
hear because there were three.
Sorry?
Who's? I'm sorry.
Who wrote that verse she's asking, and what does that verse mean?
Srila Rupa Goswami wrote it.
Srila
Rupa Goswami.
Rupa Goswami.
He is this the first time you heard his name?
Yes.
Soon you'll be falling in love with him.
Oh.
Srila Rupa Goswami is the head of the entire Krishna consciousness movement. He's the head.
I'm glad I asked about him. I had no idea. And the name just sparked an interest when I heard it.
Naturally, because
Yeah.
of your past activities.
Some people took
He's the
50
guru of-
years trying to figure that out.
Yeah, because I've heard so many other names and none of them made me fire. But this one, I was like, what is that?
He's the guru of all the Gaudiya Vaishnava gurus.
Wow.
He's intimate associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he's the most intimate maidservant of Srimati Radhika. He's a manifestation of the heart of Lord Chaitanya and of Radharani.
That's beautiful. How do you say his name one more time?
Rupa
Rupa
Goswami.
Goswami. Rupa Goswami.
Yes,
and
thank
did you put a Srila in front?
Yes, you do.
Srila Rupa
Goswami.
Goswami.
Very good.
Thank you.
She's only been a devotee for like a week. Do you believe it? Okay, so Kirtan and then Prashad. Who is going to lead? How about you? How about something with separation?
Huh?
Something with separation. Something. One time Gurudev asked one of the Bengali brahmacharis to lead a kirtan in Tirkadamba, in the place of separation. He said, Virahase, with separation rules. Oh, wait, Ram, can you play Mridanga?
This is what it's eating.
Yeah, but you didn't play yet today.
I've been playing all
Oh,
day.
yeah, you can both play.
I have mine on the car.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaura